So there's something we've talked about previously about helping your guild get an appropriate rank, and to be honest, there's some of these things that everybody does. Dream Realm, you try to rank as high as you can. Supreme Arena, same thing. Honor Duel, well, Honor Duel a lot of people skip, but there's one thing that a lot of people can do, and that is Arcane Labyrinth. You need to do at least one Labyrinth run a week, even if it's just getting to 15 of 15 cleared on difficulty 15, but this is going to help you guys get a lot of rewards. Because again, remember, I think some people forget our guild is what, 8 days away from getting this additional boost, and staying in the top 5 is a huge difference, not for diamonds but for guild medals, which means more celestial and more Hypogean heroes. So helping your guild as much as possible is important, and Arcane Labyrinth at least is easier. Honor Duel, I mean, you have to be ranked very highly to even have a chance. You can see our guild is 17 compared to like 3, 5, 5, 5. We stay very high. Everything else, Honor Duel is the one that like nobody likes doing. Let's be honest, nobody likes doing it. But at least with doing one Arcane Labyrinth a week isn't the worst thing in the world. And honestly, adding this new hero almost into the mix has made things even easier, because if you guys haven't been trying difficulty 15, it's difficult. It definitely gets up there, and picking the right items on this one is going to be absolutely huge. You want to try to push your runes as high as possible, and honestly, most of the time we're running this kind of like interesting type team. We're going for speed. Honestly, I guess we could change this up now. Probably change it to something more like, actually, you know what? Oh, the combo. Wait a minute, I forgot. Putting Aaron in this combo is like so good. Because we can just lock the enemy down, and we can technically buy time for our Smokey, but granted our account is very, very strong. This combo is good, but the most important part about doing this Labyrinth run is going to be the items that you pick. Certain ones are definitely going to be better, and if you do have Almas on your account, that's a huge gain. Typically I would get to 15 of 15 on my account, and then I'd kind of drop off, but with the addition of Almas adds that survivability to your team that is absolutely insane and hard to replicate, because any type of knockback effects, knock up effects get extended by an additional 2 seconds, which is just so crazy good. So we're gonna go for those relic gates over and over. We're gonna try to rank them up as fast as possible. We're gonna try to keep our team alive, of course. We don't want our team to die, but this wombo combo with like Alsa and everything in this squad is a crazy amount of damage. Granted, if you had Carolina, she would work just as good, if not maybe even better than Arden in this team, so just keep that in mind too. There's lots of advantages, and we're gonna keep trying to do and go for as many relics as possible. Sadly, we already went 1 of 2 for a bunch of these, which I typically don't like doing. Throw our team in like this. That should be good. I like feeding the extra energy to Aaron because I want him to be able to get like multiple ultimates off to really lock down the enemy team. As you guys can see, we took no damage, and even if we take a little bit, Smokey is still there to do it. But again, this can work perfectly fine without Smokey. You can use your traditional Damien Carolina type team too, like we showed off earlier today. It's just adding in this hero also gives you more flexibility here, not just in some of those other game modes we were talking about as well. So keep that in mind. This squad does amazing, and almost here again like the video we did earlier. If you didn't check out earlier's video, check it out, because you got to see the comparison between Thorn and Almas in this more default type team with Carolina, Arden, Damien. This team's a little different. Still keeps a good 3-2 faction modes, but this is where we really want to pay attention. So things like this, allied heroes can stun the target for 2 seconds after they deal a critical strike. Things like this are really good. I don't really care about doing more ultimates. I don't really care about doing this. I really want to go for pretty much anything that has to do with control effects. Also want to go for that additional energy when possible too, but additional control effects are amazing. So if we're critting on them, they get stunned as well. You really only have one hope once you get past 15 of 15. If you really want to rank high, you need control effects or immunity for your team, and both of those do exist, but you have to pay attention. Don't go for things that give like just straight up attack. They're usually not the best. This might actually synergize really well too, getting more energy whenever we critical strike, because we really want to do critical strikes here, because that's also going to crowd control them. We're going to go and get another relic taken care of. I can always call them runes, relics. I mean the same thing. When I say rune, I mean the relic system here. It's just so many different games I play. They all have different terms, and sometimes the terms just get mishmashed together in my head. So let's keep pushing. This getting to 15-15 should be the easy part for us. The difficult part is after the boss at 15-15. Going 16, 17, 18, 19, 20 gets really difficult. And right here, let's see, gains 40% additional crit rate to allies when dealing damage to enemies under control effects. Yup, because you know what happens when we crit? We stun them, which is also a control effect. And then when we crit them, we're also gaining energy. So you can see how all these things kind of like snowball together and become very, very powerful and very, very good. Deploy at least one support hero. Yep, we got that one taken care of, so that'll be good. And you're gonna see a lot of critical chance hits here, and just things getting really, really crazy with the amount of energy hits we have and everything. Let's turn that off. They don't need to use their ultimates at the end here. Whew, this one's actually looking like a pretty good run. We do need a little bit more control. Gain one slot. Oh wait, that's kind of cool. We get an additional slot. That's cool. 144. I'm gonna wait. I'm gonna save up for the last fit store at what, 13 or 14 or whatever it is. We're gonna continue just running this team because I like this team overall. It has a lot of good burst damage at the beginning of battle. Granted, if I had a Brian built up, it would probably be even better than running the Arden, but Arden also gives some crowd control, so you know, can't really complain. The more control effects we have, the better. So let's keep pushing on. I got another 4 of 4 crest. Let's see what we got. That's actually pretty good for more hits. Gain control immunity to allied heroes below a certain percentage. That's kind of good. Ooh, additional crit's kind of nice too. Throws the frontmost allied hero to the area of the most enemies when the battle starts. The hero stuns nearby enemies. I kind of like that. I know this seems really... I think we need this for damage though, and we already have some good control effects. We don't necessarily need to launch our ultimates into the enemy formation. That could be good because it does do crowd control too, but I think the way we got this with our Aaron already running, it seems pretty solid here. And you can see our grouping is just so good on this team too. And if it does run longer, we got the Smokey. And Smokey's really there just to keep us topped off at this point. Not necessarily to do his damage on his third ultimate, which eventually that will be helpful. But let's see here. Enemies under control effects take 20% more damage. That's probably going to be the best one here. Although this one's good. Grants damage immunity to allied heroes who receive damage above 20% of their max HP. This is really good. Getting immunity type abilities too, just in case someone breaks out, is very huge. That immunities and crowd control, those are the two things you need to run. If you get more immunity type relics unlocked, then that means you can run a little bit more offensive of a team. You don't have to run like the Smoke. You could run another damage dealer potentially, and just try to break through these enemies as fast as possible. But you can see, like, our HP bar really hasn't moved on a single hero because of this. And this is how you get the high ranks. Before this, I would always fail on 16-16. The second I picked up Ulmus, I just had such a better and easier time at making progression because of how all these synergies work in this game mode. So let's see. We don't really use shields. Frighten enemies when the allied team casts their first ultimate. That's kind of nice. Allied heroes can absorb that. I kind of want maybe like more crit though, because crit means more. The more crit we have, the more crowd control we're gonna have. So I think going for like a crazy high crit rate on this type of team is gonna be really good, because that first relic we got early on lets us stun the enemy for 2 seconds whenever they take a crit hit. That's really big for CC. So we have like immobilize, we have knockdown, we have twining, rooting them. We have so many type of abilities here that the enemies just don't even get to act. And that's the whole point of this video, of how you actually get to these higher ranks is going to be through this. Now you can still come across some really nasty bad enemies, but we'll see what happens. No, 5 seconds battle, 2 enemy heroes with the lowest HP. When allies deal damage to the marked enemies, their attack speed. That's kind of nice. This is kind of nice too, because the enemy's never going to be on our side of the battlefield. So more haste means more damage, more energy, all that fun stuff. Let's go with the relic gate on the left here. Both of them are going to upgrade us to another relic. But again, overall, this is just, we don't really have to worry about pushing them to the other side of the battlefield, because as you guys can see, we have crazy energy generation too, because we got the energy relic too that's giving us additional energy whenever we use our ultimate. So it's just a chain reaction how all this stuff happens. It just gets out of control really quickly, but you have to be picking the right items to make this happen. Increase crit, increase the duration of control effects. That's actually really nice. I think I like that one better than everything else because, again, control is what we're all about. We're on 13 here, so what we want to do is we want to go to the fit store and spend all of this resources that we've gained. We're basically going to be buying additional relics here, so let's see what we can find. I guess we'll go with guard, just because that does give us another card. Yep, this is what I want right here. Just in case. Just in case. In case we take a fatal blow, we get survivability, essentially. Now, sadly, yeah, we don't really get any other ones right here. Hopefully, we get one more. If we can get more of potential, because the boss right here gives you another relic. I'm hoping we get potential here. That's going to be the best. So this is a boss. Normally, when we come to the boss wave, I just go to a more traditional damage dealing type setup. I just run something a little bit more offensive typically. Something like that, and usually this shreds the boss pretty quickly. Usually don't have many issues here. The other thing is we could have put Coco in this team to try to get her full energy. That could have been solid too. Coco can be an absolutely amazing utility tool as long as you control her ultimates, and when you get to the last ultimate you make sure it doesn't use it. Same with here, Smokey. I'm going to turn his ultimate off right here because I want him to save all that energy up for the next battle. I want to make sure he can ultimate immediately at the start just to get good burst healing and stuff. And this is the quote-unquote easy part of the video, right? Is getting to 15 of 15. Allied heroes can deal additional true damage equal to 10% max HP when dealing a critical strike. This is huge. This is probably one of the best damaging items we can get. Because these enemies are going to get crazy high HP levels. So if we can just do 10% of their HP, that is going to be absolutely amazing. So let's see what our wave is. Interesting. That's a lot of Cassidy heroes. Okay, so we're going to slot our team back in. We're going to get you there, you there. We're going to go back to an Arden over here. We're going to go for this. Hopefully they don't get any ultimates off, but again, remember, we're instantly crowd controlling them, so even having this Smokey here, oh man, honestly, placement wise at this point, I should probably be doing something more like this, like putting the Smokey at the very front of the battle. Therefore, he potentially can reach better if we do need his damage from his third ultimate. And if we do need the damage from his third ultimate, we need to control the Aaron's ultimate as well to make sure we're not dragging them too far away into the corner. We need to make sure we're dragging them more towards the center of the room so that Smokey's ultimate will hit. But it doesn't look like we need it. And as you guys can see, we basically took no damage. Smokey's there just in case we need additional damage with his third ultimate, if you do have him at Mythic Plus. And we just maxed out the energy card, which is good. So let's see. Allied heroes deal additional true damage and restore energy when dealing damage to heroes under control effects. That's probably going to be the one we go with. Enemies under control effects receive additional true damage equal to 3% max HP. Can be, oh, that can be happen every 1 second. Wow. Wow. Okay, we have a lot of this might be one of my best runs ever, to be honest. This is an insane combination that we got going on. Tons of crowd control and everything. This could be really, really good. Holy cow, wait a minute. I did not have the button push. If you didn't know what happened here, I didn't have the auto ultimate set up immediately, and that is really dangerous at the beginning of battle to not have that active. But we have a crazy high amount of true damage happening from our cards that we've gotten, and as you guys can see, this can mean a lot of better control. The enemies are just getting locked down. We have tons of true damage to do all the extra damage because it's really not even our heroes doing the damage. It's our critical hits and our crowd control that are proccing so much true damage here. It gets absolutely insane. So our heroes are doing damage, but the cards are doing the big bulk of it. On to 18. I think 18 is where I got stuck last time, but I still got like rank 24. Oh, okay, so this is one of the most dangerous waves to go up against because Shakir, if we let them get their ultimates off, we are screwed because they become immune to our crowd of control effects. So we need to lock them down and hopefully not let them even use their ultimate. If they use their ultimate, we are going to get shredded to pieces. And sometimes this is just how the luck rolls. If they ever break out of crowd control here, we are just done for. So like the only hope is we just chain these actives, and you can see they all broke out. Our team is going to go down, and there's really nothing we can do about that. So as good as our run went, sometimes the RNG of the enemy team that you face is just going to really shred you. Now, you can always restart the battle, remember that, but there's really nothing here that we can do that's gonna help us. The only thing I could think is maybe running some additional damage potentially, but if the enemy breaks their formation, we are done for. We are screwed. We are not going to recover from this. The only hope is maybe we can get some kills with an Odie in here, but even then, like, I wish we had another control hero, honestly. And you can see right there, they all broke out, they all did their leap, and they just instantly murked our hero. So next time I think I might put an additional crowd controller on our team too, because if we can get a team like this built up and we can just chain those CCs together, maybe Florabelle is going to help us with a little bit extra crowd control here. It might work. If we have enough ultimates, it could work out. I think they broke out. Yep, they did break out, which, as you guys can see, the second they do, crowd control effects don't affect them, and they just go crazy on us. So as good as a run can go, this can still happen. However, this gives us a very good rank. So we're just gonna exit out of this. We're gonna take this one on the chin, like, yep, we lost this one. We're gonna hold the exit. We still did really good. We got a good score and everything. And this gives us a ranking right now in the early week as rank 19. Is that going to be good enough to give us super high ranks? Not necessarily. We're going to have to come back and do it again. But this is how you get the good Arcane Labyrinth score. And that's going to help you get more Celestial and Hypogean heroes if you can convince all of your guild to do something like this. So hopefully you guys enjoy this one. I'll see you guys next time.